Hello, my name is Sean Smith, and I'm in Management 4420. I was able to look at the podcast why Made in China is called Made in Mexico now. I really didn't know what to expect from listening to the podcast, but I found that it was very interesting. As a logistics professional, I get caught in my everyday work and without thinking about things on a global level instead of just a domestic level. But the pandemic presented its own set of challenges for everyone. It became really hard to get goods and services, especially when you're expecting those to come internationally in from China. China was really impacted by coronavirus. I would say first before any other country. So it became a challenge to get the goods that you needed, which made globalization a real challenge at that time. Um, there was times when China could ship to us during a pandemic. It was slower and the costs became more expensive. As you know, when transportation becomes scarce, the prices increase, which make it a real big challenge. Um, Shipping used to seem pretty free out of China. Things were really cheap. It was quick to get things, but transportation costs started to increase pretty dramatically, which made it really a big challenge for us and for the entire world. I ran on Manhwa's story. I know that he blew up big in the furniture industry in China around 2014. Where he blew up, man. He got into the market and really hit it off pretty quickly. But after the pandemic, it started to become challenging. Globalization started to suffer. People started looking at transportation costs closer. So a lot of people want to bring in products from somewhere that's geographically close to where they're located. So China is not the most ideally located spot internationally. So it became very challenging to export goods. So he really started to struggle. His business suffered. He lost money. It forced him to build factories in like Vietnam and Mexico to be able to become competitive and keep his furniture business thriving. So he had to look at a lot of different options. The main challenge for Chinese companies, I would say, is regionalization. Um, a lot of places are looking to build factories close to where their customer base is, which reduces their transportation costs and actually transit times. People can get their product quicker. So it's starting to become a real challenge for China to remain competitive because they're really, I'm not going to say at a really huge disadvantage, but it is. It's a disadvantage compared to others that are closer in proximity. I don't think China's going to remain one of the dominant manufacturers in the world economy. Globalization is starting to suffer. People are looking at, just like what I just said, they're looking at producers that are closer to them, which reduces their transportation costs. Of course, they will remain competitive. They will remain a force, but they won't be as dominant and be the main person anymore. They'll have to share that along with the U.S., Mexico. Mexico is a big threat. When you're looking at it, Mexico is shipping to the U.S. and other parts of the world, and that's why so many people are flocking to Mexico now. It's starting to become a big player in that game. My view of globalization is it will continue to remain relevant. There are certain countries that specialize in certain products that others can't. For in particular, United States, we may have a certain product that we can't produce. It may cost us too much labor wise. We may have to get our raw materials, which are used to manufacture products from different parts of the world that may be more economical to send to China or to Mexico to let them produce it. So we have to look at what we specialize in and allow other countries to do what they do best, and we bring that together to have effective globalization. But I think regionalization is more effective at this point. I'm thinking as a transportation and logistic professional, if I'm looking out there looking for products, I'm looking for someone who produces it domestically that can give me the product quicker. In my business, things tend to change on a daily basis. So I need to have suppliers that have flexibility that can give me product within a couple of days instead of weeks and all of these type of things. So yes, globalization will remain to be very important. But I'm starting to see those things reduce and become a little less important than it's been historically.